everybody, my name is buzzycombs and welcome back to the Minecraft 100 Baby Challenge. Today, I'm going to be going to the Bumblezone because I want to build a bee-themed house. Before I go on to that, however, I do of course need to have the first child of the day. And the first baby is a little boy who I'm going to name Chompy. Anyways, now that I have Chompy, I need to figure out how exactly I can get to the Bumblezone. And according to the wiki, I need to enter a beehive using an ender pearl. And so I'm going to check my chest to see if I have any ender pearls or not. And it would look as though I don't have any, which means I need to wait for nighttime so I can attack an enderman. Alrighty, and now that night has fallen, it is time to go out and search for some endermen. I'm also going to take this boat because it's going to make killing them a little bit easier. And so I wandered off into the darkness to see if I could hunt down some endermen. Oh, enderman, where are you? I would like to kill you, please.
One eternity later.
Where the heck are the endermen? I've wandered so far. But unfortunately, I had absolutely zero luck and not even a single enderman spawned that night. And while I watched the sunrise, I had a little snack. Oh, Chompy, hello. Oh my gosh. Well, I've had Chompy and the sun is rising. We've had no luck with endermen tonight. Okay, I'm gonna go. This is not a safe place for a newborn child. But the crib surely is, and now that Chompy has been settled in, I'm gonna go back to the fields. There's an enderman down here. By all that scary, terrifying lava. Hi, enderman. Can we be friends? Okay, I can drop this. Hi! I'm going to kill you. Get in my boat. Yes, please drop an ender pearl. Dang it. And then after a long night of searching... Still no pearl. I finally got one. Yes, I finally have a pearl. And now that I have a pearl, I can go home. Alrighty, and now that I'm home, I'm going to have another baby with Adeline, which is a baby girl I'm going to name Bee, which I think is very fitting since I'm going to be going into a bee dimension. Anyways, now that I have my new baby and this ender pearl, I guess it's time for me to go into the Bumblezone. So without further ado, let's throw the ender pearl. And here we are in the Bumblezone. Look at all of these flowers. Oh, sapling. This is so cool. Now, my objective for being here is to gather a bunch of these honey blocks, because with these honey blocks, I can make myself some super cool honey-themed things for my roof. And so I went on to mine a bunch of these honeycomb blocks until I was satisfied with the amount of honey I had gathered. Alrighty, and now that I have all this honey, it is time for me to head back to the overworld. And in order to return to the overworld, I apparently have to dig through the honey layers and break out. And so I began digging my way back to the overworld. And at long last, I broke through the beehive. And here I am, back home. And before I start building the house for my next children, little Bee is ready to age up. And here she is with vibrant pink eyes and beautiful brown hair. So now I'm going to set her in the crib next to her brother and find her mom to make another sibling. And our next child is yet another baby girl who I'm going to name Honey. And now that I have little Honey, I'm now going to gather all the materials I'm hopefully going to need to build my bee-themed house. Now, first off, I'm going to gather myself 3 stacks of calcite, which I'm going to turn into sanded calcite. Next, I'm going to gather myself some spruce wood, which I'm very short in supply on. So I'm also going to make a quick detour to my local spruce forest and chop down a few trees. And now that I've gone a little bit overkill in collecting myself some spruce wood, I'm also going to turn these honey blocks into honeycomb bricks. And now the last thing I'm going to need for this build is actually some yellow wool. And so I'm just going to gather a few of these sunflowers and turn them into more sunflowers? And now I can turn them into yellow dye. That was weird. So now that I have all this yellow dye, I'm just going to transform my sheep into yellow sheep and of course shave them all up. And now I'm going to transform all of this wool into these blocky types of wool. And now that I have all the materials I'm going to need to build this house, I need to figure out where I'm going to build it. And I think a yellow themed house would actually look really cute in this autumn forest next to Xwivesville. So it's time to equip my shovel and get to a little bit of terraforming. Oh my gosh, hi honey! Hello! Oh my gosh, she has yellow eyes! That is so cute! And whoopsie! I did not need to have her in the middle of my terraforming, but It's okay. She looks really cute. It's worth it. Anyways, though, since I accidentally popped out honey, I might as well show you the progress I've been making so far. I'm clearing out a little bit of land over here because I think I want to nestle the build kind of here-ish, but I'm still kind of figuring it out. So you guys will see what it looks like once I'm finished. Alrighty, so I have finished terraforming and clearing out this area. And can you guess where I'm going to build the house? I am going to build it right here, away from everything I just flattened, because I'm a genius like that. Anyways, though, before I get on to building, I of course need to have the next baby of the day, who has wound up being a baby girl. And this baby girl is going to be named Bubbles. And now that I have my next baby girl and this land has been cleared, it is time to get to building. And so I got to work on building up these calcite walls, and then tragedy struck. Chompy is dead! He died by in-wall? What does that mean? Hold on, what? So it's at positive 945, positive 304. 945 is this way. 945 and 304. Oh my gosh, he got stuck on the frogs! Wait, B is stuck on the frogs. Okay, we cannot have any frogs in here. These are dangerous, and they killed your brother. Oh my gosh, this is so sad. I thought I was through my kids dying. I haven't had any deaths in several episodes. I'm so sorry, Chompy. Unfortunately, now that Chompy is gone, we of course must fill in the grave, and I think it'll be very fitting, instead of having a flower on his grave, to have the frog that killed him. Chompy, may you rest in peace. And hopefully he's the last tragedy we'll have to face. Anyways, though, with Chompy dead, it is coincidentally time for little Bubbles to come to life. So I'm going to set her down in the nursery. And here she is. Oh my gosh! She is so green! Is it just me? Or does she kind of look like a frog? Is this a sign from above? Chompy, is that you? Well, little Bubbles, since you are so green, I'm gonna set you in this green crib because it's fitting. And of course, move on to making the next baby with Adeline. And this new child is yet another baby girl who I'm going to name Lizzie. And now that I have my new child, it is of course time for me to return to building the bee-themed home. And so I returned once more to building up the walls, only to get interrupted yet again. This time, it's not to a death, but to a simple misclick. Hi, Lizzie! Oh, yet another accidental baby who looks outright adorable. So once again, I'm just going to set her in a crib and get back to building. And so to continue working on the build, I began adding some spruce outlines to the roof. Then I filled in the roof with these honeycomb bricks, filled in some gaps in the wall with yellow wool, used some framed walls to fill in the corners, added in some windows, and lastly, I dug up the floor and filled it in with fir wooden planks. And just like that, this home is ready to be decorated. But of course, before I go on to that, it is time to have the final baby of the day. And the final baby is a baby boy. And because the person who suggested Chompy's name has suggested it 9 times in a row, and the child died immediately, I think it would be fitting to name this baby Chompy Jr. And hopefully, this one doesn't join his predecessor. Anyways, though, now I'm going to go on ahead and craft everything I need. Alrighty, I have everything crafted, and now it is time for little Chompy Jr. to come to life. And so, here he is. Oh, he's so cute. Hi, Chompy Jr. I see you're wearing a green outfit as well. Aww. Now, first things first, I'm going to set up a few planter pots throughout the build, and all these planter pots will have some orange dark oak leaves. Next, I'm going to set up a cozy zigzag carpet. Then over in this corner, I'm going to set up a nice little birch table. And on this birch table will be a honey pot, a bee plushie, and lastly, a bee lamp. Then, just above the doorway, I'll have a rack of herbs. Then, hanging off the ceiling will be several cute little bee-themed night lights. Now, by this planter right here, I'll actually have 2 flower pots. One with a dandelion and the other with a pink hyacinth. Now, the last thing I would like to add, of course, are the beds, which I definitely did not almost forget about, which will be situated with 2 in these corners, 1 in this back corner, and lastly, I'll be utilizing some slabs to set up a couple of bunk beds. Now, the room may look finished now, but technically it is incomplete because I would actually like to add a really cool glowing honey ceiling using both honey blocks and a couple of shroom lights. Now, luckily enough, I do have some shroom lights up in this attic, and so I'm just going to take 15 of these and transform them into these hived shroom lights. Next, I'm going to craft myself a handful of glass bottles. Then Then I'm going to grab these filed porous honeycomb blocks that I gathered from the Bumblezone. And I'm just going to place 60 of these in this attic. Then use these bottles to scoop up some honey and subsequently make some honey blocks with it. And then of course wash, rinse, and repeat until I have 15 honey blocks. Alrighty, and now that I have these honey blocks, I can strip down this part of the roof. Oh, it takes away the night lights. Dang it! I'll have to set them all back up. And now what I'm going to do is place down a layer of these hive trim lights. And beneath the layer will be these honey blocks. And this makes for some really cool glowing honey for the ceiling of this house. And I think it's perfect. So now that I have filled in this room, it is now officially time for me to summon all of my new children. And now that I have all my children here, it of course is time for them to get their outfits. Now firstly, little Honey here is going to have this beautiful sunflower bee themed shirt. Next, Bee is also going to have a bee outfit. Bubbles, on the other hand, is going to have this really cute frog dress. Lizzie is going to have this cute pink themed bee outfit. And last but not least, little Chompy Jr. is going to have these cute beekeeper overalls. And just like that, all my new children are settled in and their home is completed. Now, on that note, that is the end of today's episode on the Minecraft 100 Baby Challenge. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribe. And without further ado, thank you all so much for watching, and I guess I will see you all next time. Bye-bye! Is that a dragon?